Welcome to the Fragrance Nut. Hey, I'm going to talk about a Hyacinth fragrance because that's been the kick that I've been on lately, is looking for fragrances with Hyacinth because I do love the smell of florals and I do love the smell of Hyacinth. And this one today we're going to talk about is a Annick Goutal fragrance. And here you go. Grand Amour. Amour means love. My Cherie Amour, you Stevie Wonder. Anyway, in this, I wish this here really, my wife hated. It's for women, but I tried to wear it just to get that feel of the Hyacinth. But it's a very vintage smelling scent. It's not a modern scent at all by any stretch of the imagination. But in the top of it is Hyacinth, and I really wish that they had probably placed the Hyacinth in the mid and then a little bit more in the base, because that's where things get to burn off and you get to experience. So even though it's Hyacinth, to me, it's not a dominant Hyacinth note as I would have preferred it to be. So I'm still looking. I do have a term for it. Ombre de Hyacinth, I believe it may be. But it reminded me of Gray Flannel of Jeffrey Bean. So it's okay. Still looking. But let's talk about this one in particular. So in this one, you got the Hyacinth, you have Lily of the Valley, and there's honeysuckle, there's Turkish rose. And I do, and by the way, I got this from Perfume.com. And so I believe this is like maybe a 10 mil, maybe 15 mil size. And probably gonna just let guess who will like it. Yep. So that's who will be wearing it, Onyx. Anyway, and in the mid, you have some Indian mimosa, and there's some leather. I do get the leather. I do even pick up on the jasmine here in the mid. And then there's another note that I'm not really familiar with, Lydia Broom. I don't want anything that smells like a broom. Maybe that's why it's got that vintage feel to it. And then there's myrrh in the base. I do get the myrrh. There's amber, there's musk, and then there's vanilla. So to me, this is definitely, I don't remember when this came out, but I would bet in the 50s, 60s even, when this would have come out. And in fact, I'm gonna just cheat here and look, and maybe tell you, I would bet that I'm correct. Oh gosh, I'm wrong. This came out in 1996. Go figure that. But yeah, and it was, I believe, a second person who probably helped Annick Goutal on this particular fragrance. I have had other fragrances by Annick Goutal that I did like, but all of them tend to be. This is kind of heavy, and look at the color of that juice. You could tell that just seeing, if you see a juice like this, you can almost bet it's heavy on the amber. Okay? So that's what you got there, and it's in the base, and it'll probably get even darker. I don't know how long, or if this is a vintage one, but it sure does feel vintage. It's a very powerful fragrance. Yeah, old lady would love this. Grandma maybe can remember this. I don't see anybody above 50 wearing this. 50 and beyond, and even more beyond, 60 to 70 would probably remember this, even though this came out in 1996. I would dare say it absolutely will remind them of the old vintage fragrances. Uh, Come to mind would be uh, Chanel #5, but not smelling like this, but Chanel #5, uh, Poison, it would be a vintage. Um, some Fendi fragrances are vintage. Definitely Guerlain would have some really nice vintage. This here could almost be like a crepe floral. Uh, there's not a lot of spice going on in here, but of course with that amber and the myrrh, yeah, that'll give you enough spice going on. But I don't know if you tried it. Hey, get your nose on it. Just get you. I suggest just get you a 2 meal size. It's just so that you can have fun learning some of the vintages, and maybe you'll like it. Maybe your chemistry may be something different. Just try it anyway, just so that you can experience the world of fragrances. Uh, Sometimes like not knowing the notes back in the day, you didn't know the perfume, or nor did you know the notes. And then when you did begin to hear of anything, you heard citrus, woody, anything like that. And then until bond #9, you would then start hearing the idea of unisex. Of course, you travel the world, they don't have, like, such as in the USA, we always think of men fragrances and women fragrances. But you travel other countries, Middle East, very floral. Go into Europe and go Paris, any of those places, and there's no such thing as men and women fragrances. As much as do you like it or you don't like it. And so sometimes I believe knowing not so much the perfumer, but knowing the things that Fragrantica, some of the other sites will tell you, Parfumo will tell you what's in it, may take away the element of enjoying a fragrance, because then we go to thinking we know what we tend to like, more floral, more citrus, whatever, and then we get more specific. We like bergamot, I like rose, I like jasmine, I like gardenia, and then you start reading a fragrance some reviewer mentioned it, or you just looking around and you look at the notes and then you assume, oh, I'm probably not gonna like it, and you may be right, but the element of just smelling a fragrance and letting your mind take you wherever it takes you uh, is we've lost that a little bit, and even myself, after 50 years of fragrances, I've come to the other side of, oh yeah, I'll look at the notes, what's in it first before I buy it. And I really wish that I could break that mold and go back to when the good old days, you go in the store, you don't know, and you spray it and you like it or you don't. But sometimes even then, I suggest walk around, because that excitement of when you first smell something and you, oh, I got to have it, but you haven't let the fragrance go where its full journey, so that you know where it's going to end up, and that is in the dry down. And you purchase it. I did it years ago. I was 18 years old, and I bought a fragrance called the Baron, and it was wonderful in the beginning. And then I go home, my brother, he comes by, and he went in the room, he come out of my bedroom, and then later I said, wow, what's that? I said, what are you wearing? I said, it smells good. He said, oh, it was something you had on your dresser, the Baron. And I said, well, take it with you. And I didn't like it, but I bought it because in the beginning it smelled wonderful until I got home, and then nope. So sometimes we get burned that way too. So like, share, subscribe. Again, Grand Amour. I would say that's probably great love. I don't know. Anyway, have a good night. Always remember, Keep smelling good. See you in another video. Thanks for listening to this old man. Bye.